The 1995 film Dead Man has a strange opening scene. Actor Johnny Depp is sitting on a train. A man sits down across from Depp's character and speaks to him.
Look out the window. And doesn't it remind you of when you were in the boat, and then later that night you were lying looking up at the ceiling, and the water in your head was not dissimilar from the landscape?
Today, we will explore the word the. Yes, the word the. You heard it many times in the audio from the movie. English speakers use this word for several reasons, some of which we will discuss in this program. Today, we will show you how Americans use the in everyday speech, writing, and even in the arts, such as literature or movies. But first, we need to give you a few definitions.
Articles are words that go before nouns. They tell if the noun is general or specific. When an article is specific, it is called a definite article. The word the is a definite article. English speakers use the when both the speaker and the listener know what is being referred to. They can have this shared understanding for any number of reasons. Sometimes the noun is already known, for example. Sometimes the speakers are referring to nouns that are unique. At other times, the situation makes it clear what the noun refers to.
One of the main reasons Americans use the word the when they are speaking is because the noun being referred to is clearly understood. The noun could be something seen or heard in an area around the speakers, or it could be a part of their daily lives. Let's listen to an example. You can hear the speakers use the in an everyday situation at the dinner table.
The pasta turned out great.
Thank you.
Would you mind passing me the butter?
Sure thing.
Oh, I just remembered. I forgot to let the dog outside. I'll be right back.
In the example, you heard the speakers use the word the 3 times: the pasta, the butter, and the dog. The reason the speakers used the is because the nouns they were referring to were clear in the context, in this case, the dinner table. The speakers all understood that they were eating pasta and that there was butter nearby. The meaning of the dog is clear to them because the animal is a part of their daily lives. Even if it is not in the room at the time, both speakers know what the dog is referring to.
One of the common reasons you will see the word the in writing is because modifiers of the noun specify what is being referred to. The modifiers of the noun change it from a general noun to a specific noun. Although more common in writing, you can hear examples in films. Let's listen to this example from the 1955 film 7-Year Itch.
The island of Manhattan derives its name from its earliest inhabitants, the Manhattan Indians.
In the film, the speaker said the island of Manhattan because the modifier, the words of Manhattan, gives information about the noun island. The word island could be a general or specific noun, but when it is modified, it becomes a specific noun, the island of Manhattan. In the example you heard, the modifier came after the noun. However, sometimes the modifier can come before the noun. For example, you might see a story about buildings in the United States. The story might say, Chicago has the tallest building in America. Here, tallest modifies the noun building. This is a specific noun because only one building can be the tallest.
The last reason speakers and writers use the word the is for stylistic purposes. This is most common in fiction writing and movies. By using the article the writer or speaker is able to make the reader or listener more interested in the story. People are likely to show an interest because the writer or speaker is presenting information as if it is understood, even if it is not. Let's listen again to the opening lines from Dead Man.
Look out the window. And doesn't it remind you of when you were in the boat, and then later that night you were lying looking up at the ceiling, and the water in your head was not dissimilar from the landscape?
In the film, the strange man uses specific language, the boat, the ceiling, and so on. This language is not understood by those of us watching. Viewers start asking themselves questions like, which boat is the man talking about, and which ceiling? In other words, the viewer or listener is more curious about the story because they do not know what the man is talking about. This is a common technique you will see often in films and books, such as thrillers and mystery stories.
The next time you are watching films or talking with an English speaker, try to listen for examples of the word the. Ask yourself why the speaker is using the instead of a different article, such as a or an. The process of recognizing and understanding articles can be a difficult one. However, with time and effort, you will use them with no trouble, and we will be here to help. I'm Alice Bryant.
And I'm John Russell. Wildfires continue to spread in Northern California. American weather experts were predicting high winds and low humidity levels in the area on Thursday. Such conditions are making it difficult to stop the 22 major wildfires north of San Francisco. The fires are blamed for at least 23 deaths. About 300 other people are listed as missing. California officials say at least 3,500 homes and businesses have been destroyed. Earlier this week, President Donald Trump declared part of Northern California a disaster area. His declaration makes the area eligible for assistance from the federal government. The state's Forestry Department Fire Chief, Ken Pimlott, is helping to direct the 8,000 firefighters struggling to contain the wildfires. He called the fires a serious, critical, catastrophic event. This week, police blocked many roads and prevented residents from going to neighborhoods destroyed by the fires. Dave Larson lives in the Sonoma County community of Glen Ellen. He returned to his neighborhood to look for his cats. As he looked at the damage, he noted that some of his neighbors' homes had survived. Larson said he regretted he had not stayed, like his neighbors, standing on the housetop and fighting the fire with his water hose. Larson told VOA that he lost many objects that were valuable to him, including his grandfather's gun.
One thing that I really kicked myself for not grabbing before the fire came was my grandfather's 100-year-old Lebel rifle that he was shot with in World War II. And it was in perfect condition. And as you can see, this is what's left. Bayonet is still attached. It's amazing. It was still sitting right next to my flat screen TV, which is also completely melted.
Gordon O'Brien is a fire captain from Alameda, California. He said when a fire is coming fast, there is little people can do except save themselves. On Wednesday, O'Brien and his crew were working on protecting buildings instead of fighting the fire.
We're not focusing a whole lot right now on the actual containment, at least my aspect of it. We're focusing on structure protection and dealing within the fire lines to stop anything else from burning down.
Northern California has experienced many large fires in the past, although the current wildfires are the deadliest in recent memory. In 2012, a wildfire known as Rush burned over 110,000 hectares. In 2013, the Rim Fire burned over 100,000 hectares and destroyed more than 100 structures. Strong, dry winds blow across the countryside from the mountains. These winds put Northern California at a high risk for wildfires in the late summer and early autumn. State officials said they do not know the exact cause of the current fires. They say anything from a backfiring car to a burning cigarette can start a fire. In the past, people, lightning, and even power lines have caused wildfires in Northern California. It will be weeks before the exact amount of the damage is known. But for now, residents are just trying to make it through this fire safely. I'm John Russell.